Hello and welcome to Granada Reports. We're live with the latest across the northwest.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Here are tonight's headlines.
More turmoil for the government's grooming gangs inquiry. After the victims pull out, the candidates to lead it have withdrawn. We asked what can be done to restore faith and secure justice for the victims.
A mum urges other parents not to buy their children e-scooters for Christmas after the death of her 14-year-old son.
I don't want them to have an empty chair this Christmas. I want them to have that family table. I want them to have their loved ones around them.
What does the future hold for Manchester's famous Pride now the charity which runs it goes bust?
Blackpool's new boss, Ian Evatt, tells us better days are coming for the Seasiders.
Why this humble pie is helping resurrect this high street.
And there's a good chance we'll see some really big puddles over the next couple of days before it settles down into the weekend. The details are coming up later.
Please do stay with us for all of that. But first tonight, so the grooming gangs inquiry which the government had promised would address the concerns of the victims.
But instead, there's chaos before it's even got off the ground. Amid accusations, the government is trying to limit the scope of the probe.
Well, today, even one of the candidates to lead the inquiry said there is a toxic environment around the issue as he took his name out of contention.
We've also heard today from a survivor from Oldham, Samantha Walker-Roberts, who says she'll stick with the inquiry because she feels it's the only way to ensure that no victim is overlooked. Here's our political correspondent, Nisha McNally.
As the leaves fall outside the House of Commons, tempers are rising inside it, as plans to set up a public inquiry into child sex abuse seemingly descend into chaos.
The 4 victims on the Rape Gangs Survivors Panel have resigned. And they've resigned because they've lost all confidence in the government's inquiry. Labour never wanted this inquiry. We demanded it.
They had 14 years in office. They barely mentioned this issue. And where there were inquiries, they failed to act on them. We have done more in the time we've been in office than they did in 14 long years.
The idea that it's easy to find a chair or easy to find people who want to step forward and take part in this process when it is mired in, I have to say, political point scoring.
But as the row rumbles on, behind the story are real survivors who just want to see justice done.
It's difficult watching this fight happen. I think certain politicians, especially from the far right angle, are using it as a political gain when survivors just want answers.
Samantha was just 12 years old when she reported being groomed and assaulted in Oldham. She says if the inquiry only looks at grooming gangs, other cases of child sex abuse will be overlooked.
If that happens, cases like myself that are in a grey area where it's a specific individual causing the grooming offences or as such a kidnapping by a gang, they won't be part of this inquiry if the scope stays narrowed. People need to remember that all survivors are equal and we all deserve a voice and we all deserve justice. We've never had a national inquiry like this before where it's been led by survivors. There's no limit of money, which means that everybody can be part of this.
Samantha plans to stay on the survivors panel, working to make sure all voices are heard in the inquiry. But others are worried that widening the scope means weakening it.
If we are going to water this down, we are once again going to be left in a place where this particular kind of abuse is not scrutinised. When we look at grooming gangs, ethnicity, culture of abusers, which are predominantly Pakistani Muslim men, is the elephant in the room.
This inquiry is so important. Can it be saved?
In its current format, in my opinion, no, because it has lost all credibility.
The Prime Minister says the door will always be open to any survivors who want to work with the inquiry. But 4 women have now withdrawn from the panel, and some say this probe into historic child sex abuse has so far done more harm than good. And some of these concerns that have dogged Parliament today aren't going anywhere anytime soon, because people want to see the remit and the scope of this public inquiry, but they can't be drawn up until someone is appointed to chair it, and that's proving really difficult. Both the current shortlisted candidates have pulled out of the process today. One of them said it had become a toxic situation, so who could replace them? We heard from Ellie Reynolds from Barrow on our programme last night. She's a survivor of child sex abuse, and she says it couldn't be someone like a police chief or a social worker because there could be a conflict of interest. The opposition are calling for the chair to be a judge, but that's not straightforward either, because a judge might have to wait for current grooming gang cases to get through the courts before the work could get underway. Put simply, there are no easy answers. This inquiry will be a huge undertaking, quite rightly subject to a huge amount of public scrutiny and media attention, and few people seem willing to wade into this highly sensitive world. But until somebody is appointed to chair it, the inquiry stays in limbo and vital lessons are left unlearned.
Leisha in Westminster, thank you.
Well, next tonight, the powerful message from one grieving mother desperate to stop others going through the same heartache that she's going through.
Yes, Carly Calland lost her 14-year-old son Jacob 7 months ago after he jumped on the back of a friend's e-scooter that was then in a collision.
Well, she started a petition calling for stricter laws around their use and has produced a powerful short film appealing to parents not to buy their children e-scooters this Christmas. Our correspondent Mel Barham has this report.
They're the happy memories of Christmases past that have inspired a stark message from one grieving mum, hoping to make parents think twice before buying an e-scooter this Christmas.
I just wanted to reach out to parents. I don't want them to have an empty chair this Christmas. I want them to have their loved ones around them. I'm giving it raw. This is my life. And I don't want you to go through what I'm going through. So if I can stop one parent buying their child an e-scooter this Christmas, then it's all worth it.
Carly lost her son Jacob in March. The 14-year-old made the fatal decision to ride on the back of a friend's e-scooter and suffered a catastrophic head injury in a collision.
I want to show these kids that this is the other side of it. Jacob never thought it was going to be him. Jacob didn't leave this house and think that that was going to happen. He just jumped on the back of that scooter and didn't think twice.
This isn't the first hard-hitting video Carly's made. Just weeks after Jacob's death, we filmed with her after she released this. The film shows Jacob's last movements, leaving the house just minutes before the collision that would kill him. It shows the text messages she sent her son over the following days he was in intensive care, in the hope he'd read them when he recovered.
He never got to read them. He never got to read them. Sorry.
But this time, it's parents that Carly is hoping to persuade.
Imagine buying your child that for Christmas Day and they go out and have an accident. How would you feel? Because I feel it, and I didn't buy Jacob that e-scooter, but the grief I'm living day to day is hard. I couldn't imagine being on the other foot buying him that scooter and this accident happening, because then it's going to be my fault.
It's already illegal to ride a privately owned e-scooter on public roads or pavements, but Carly has now started a petition calling for those laws to be tightened. She wants a ban on under-18s buying them, she wants the introduction of an e-scooter licence scheme, and make it mandatory for users to wear a helmet, have insurance, and prohibit them carrying passengers.
I'm broken. Jacob's toothbrush is still upstairs. His noodles are still in the cupboard. And this is why it keeps me strong, because I don't want anyone to have to relive what I'm living. But I just need to keep shouting. I need to get to them people that don't know. I need to get to them people that are thinking about it. I want to get to you and save you the hurt, because I wouldn't want a child to go out on Christmas Day on their new e-scooter, really happy, and then an accident occur.
There have been 59 fatalities caused by e-scooters in the last 6 years. Carly wants Jacob to be the last. Mel Barham, ITV News, Wythenshawe.
Yeah, and it really is a powerful film. Thanks so much to Carly for speaking to us, and you can learn more about her petition on our website. That's at itv.com/Granada.
To more of the day's news, and the Ashton-under-Lyne MP Angela Rayner has said the situation surrounding her resignation as Deputy Prime Minister has been incredibly tough on her family. In a resignation statement, she said she would pay any taxes she owes, and she hopes her situation would make families with disabled children aware of complex tax positions. Ms Rayner resigned last month after she was found to have breached the ministerial code over whether she had paid enough stamp duty when buying a home in Brighton.
There is no excuse not to pay taxes owed, and I will do so. Yeah. This was an honestly made mistake, but when you make a mistake, you take responsibility. Yeah.
Well, next to the financial crisis which has engulfed Manchester Pride, the annual celebration of LGBTQ+ culture that's known the world over.
Yeah, from very modest beginnings 40 years ago now, Manchester Pride has become synonymous with the city, and as well as spreading a message of tolerance, it's also brought a huge number of visitors to the city and raised millions for good causes in the region.
Last week it emerged some performers are still waiting to be paid almost 2 months on from this year's events, and today the charity which runs it began the process of voluntary liquidation.
Well, our correspondent Emma Sweeney joins us now from Canal Street. Emma, what more can you tell us?
Well, as you say, I'm stood here in the gay village, which for the last few years has been at the very centre of Manchester Pride. And for those who frequent these parts, it'll be disappointing news, no doubt, that we've heard in the last couple of hours or so. But for some, perhaps unsurprising. In fact, it was only at the weekend we spoke to a couple of people who said that despite performing at this year's festival a couple of months back, they still hadn't been paid and they were owed a lot of money. The same people also said that they were disappointed with the lack of communication, in their words, from the festival organisers.
I feel like I've been treated unprofessionally. I feel it's irresponsible, and I feel it's really, really bad not to speak to one of your producers that you've worked with for over 3 years.
When you focus so much on the corporate side of things and big businesses and sponsors, you lose that sort of spark and that joy. So it's a bit of a shame, and I think generally so many of us just feel really let down by an organisation that was supposed to be there to kind of have our backs.
Well, this afternoon we heard from the Board of Trustees. They said that despite being proactive, in their words, in trying to find a financial solution, that they had been unsuccessful, and they have now started this process of voluntary liquidation. Now, they've cited a number of reasons how they've got to this point. They say rising costs, falling ticket sales, and also an unsuccessful bid to host Euro Pride.
Bitterly disappointing for so many people, Emma. So what happens now?
Well, all staff have now been made redundant. We've also been told that the charity's liquidators will now contact those artists, those suppliers who haven't been paid. The Board of Trustees says that it deeply regrets the impact that all of this has had on those who have taken part in Manchester Pride, and it's thanked those who have contributed down the years. Manchester Pride has contributed millions to this city, and it has attracted thousands and thousands of people. But already there is a tone of defiance here. One business owner has said that there will be some event that happens next year. Just quite what that looks like, we don't know.
OK, Emma in Manchester tonight, many thanks.
Well, the ITV Evening News continues with the national and international news at 6:30. Here's Mary with the details.
A 15-year-old boy who murdered fellow pupil Harvey Wilgoose at their school in Sheffield has been named. Mohammed Umar Khan was today handed a life sentence with a minimum term of 16 years for Harvey's murder. Sir Keir Starmer has backed calls for a parliamentary inquiry into Prince Andrew's rent-free mansion. And keeping up with Kim Kardashian as she takes on a lead role in a new legal drama. Do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Well, next tonight, when a gas explosion ripped through a Merseyside town 8 years ago now, it left a scar in the community that has been difficult to heal. 81 people were injured and 63 properties were damaged in the new Ferry blast, which was caused by a botched insurance job.
But now, new life is being breathed into the area, thanks in part to the return of a familiar name on the high street. Our Merseyside correspondent Andy Bonner reports.
There can't be many shops that open to a queue of customers stretching down the road. This family bakery in New Ferry has been struggling to keep up with demand since reopening.
It's been absolutely crazy. We expect to be busy, but not this busy. It's just been like phenomenal. It's got a lot of traction on social media. Fiona's dad created a big legacy. It's been 8 years. This has been going for the town. Yeah, like I say, we knew we'd be this busy, but we just didn't expect it at all. Like,
Fiona spent decades working at the business with her dad, Dave. But all that was blown apart when a huge gas explosion ripped through the town 8.5 years ago.
He was never the same after that explosion, and he just wanted to get back to work and get back up and running. It was his life. He would have been so overwhelmed and so proud. He really was. It was what he wanted to do, was get reopened, but obviously he didn't make it because he passed away.
But New Ferry was already a town in decline. Biggest shops and a supermarket had already closed. The explosion tore through much of what was left.
when it happened, it was just like the worst time possible in the worst place possible for New Ferry. And after that, it went into decline even more after that as well. As soon as people heard about us coming back, everyone has got behind it.
The return of the bakery is just one of the green shoots here. On the site levelled by the explosion, new homes are being built. The independent businesses that have survived hope to see more of the shutters going up.
You know, a bit more shaped. Yeah.
Annalisa has worked in the town for 18 years.
I love New Ferry, like everything's dead local, it's on your doorstep, it's handy, and we haven't got as much as we used to. But you know, like that, it's the people, they're all loyal and they all want the best for us. And it hasn't been, you know, it's not been easy, especially like after the explosion. And I don't think money's really been put into around here and stuff like that. It has been a struggle. It's been a long time coming, but I really do feel the difference, like especially with like the new buildings and stuff. It would be nice really if we could sort of get that community spirit back again.
After 8.5 long years, New Ferry could finally be turning a corner. New 1- and 2-bedroom homes are being built on the site of the explosion. £5.5 million is going to be spent on improving the high street. And having the return of a familiar name, well, it all helps. What does this mean for New Ferry, do you think?
A lot. Well, you can see by the queues, you know what I mean? It's just like a ghost town, really.
So what does it mean having Griffiths back in New Ferry?
It's great because you can see a lot of people back out.
It was always queues then. It was always in everybody's house in the area, and it was well liked. Hopefully this will inspire the local area now.
A huge sense of community is baked into this area, just as much as its pride in its local businesses. And maybe, just maybe, New Ferry will rise again. Andy Bonner, ITV News, Wirral.
Yeah, great to see some green shoots there.
Yeah, those pies are obviously very good. The queues round the block.
We didn't get any. Andy.
Once again.
What is it? On sport now, and Liverpool are hoping to avoid making an unwanted bit of history tonight. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, they've already lost 4 matches in a row for the first time in 11 years. You have to go back to 1953 for the last time they lost 5 straight games. So a little added pressure as they head to Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League tonight. And after that defeat to Manchester United at the weekend, the players have been in a series of meetings to find a way of fighting back.
We had a lot of meetings. We spoke with each other, but yeah, the most important is that we stay together, because as in a good time, it's easy to stay together, but it's the most important thing when it comes to a hard time, how we stay together. And I think for Wednesday, we are ready to show a reaction, and that's what we're gonna do.
In last night's Champions League, Erling Haaland scored in his game. That they beat Villarreal.
Absolutely, but we have been like that except last season because we are not together, because everyone, they were in hospital. So in the table massage during the cannot rest because 3 days later have another one.
Sorry about that, Mike's having a few mic problems. Now to the new man in charge at Bloomfield Road. Ian Evatt has been speaking for the first time since taking the reins from Steve Bruce at Blackpool.
Yeah, he's inherited a team that's bottom of the league, but he's been telling David Chisnell that better days are coming for the Seasiders.
It's a walk he's done many times as a Blackpool player, but now Ian Evatt is adjusting to walking out at Bloomfield Road as the boss.
Well, back at Blackpool, how does it feel to be here?
Yeah, I don't think I've stopped smiling since the moment I was driving down the M55, to be honest. A little bit emotional, really. I think when I was driving here to sign the contract, even just seeing the tower, just hairs on the back of the neck. And I just feel so comfortable here, so at home here, and super excited to have this opportunity.
Evatt returns to a club close to his heart. The former defender made more than 250 appearances for Blackpool, winning multiple promotions, including the big one to the Premier League in 2010 under the then manager Ian Holloway.
Come on up, oh, come on up, oh. The promotions here were very special, but that day, really hot day in May, and a sea of tangerine from South Pier to North Pier was just unbelievable. A day I'll never forget, that era of time in particular, when we were getting results and winning and getting promoted and stuff like that. The town was thriving. It's just a great place to be, and when you can connect the two together, really special things can happen, and that's my opportunity, so to speak, now to make sure that happens again and try and create some of that feeling, and if we can do that, I'll be very proud.
Well, Blackpool is the third North West side Evatt now takes charge of, after first Barrow and then Bolton.
It's a good appointment. There's a lot of players have gone back to their own clubs in other, various capacities, and it doesn't always work, but I hope this one works.
Main aim this season is obviously build, so he can reshape the team and then win the league next year.
I'm really hungry to do well. I feel like I've got a point to prove, and I feel like I owe it to this football club to give it my absolute all and everything, and give them the best possible chance to get back where I believe it belongs.
Despite promotions with both his former clubs and a league trophy win at Wembley with Wanderers, his departure from Bolton 9 months ago still hurts.
Upset because I wanted the best for that football club, and I'm so grateful to that football club for so many reasons. There isn't any ill feeling whatsoever from me, but I'm disappointed that I couldn't get the job done, and the job for me was to get them to the Championship, and I have to take ownership of that. I wish them nothing but success, obviously not when we play them, but other than that, as I said, it's a fantastic football club that gave me a great opportunity, and I really enjoyed my time there.
What would it mean if you could have success here then?
It would mean everything to me personally. I want to make sure that we create new memories and a new legacy. I think the owner deserves that. There's lots of work that's gone on, and I just feel like now the time is to get some of that hard work onto the pitch, get some new memories, and make them very proud of this football club again, make the town very proud of this football club again, and hopefully we can have takeoff.
For the team rooted to the bottom of the League One table, the Seasiders hope the only way is up. David Chisnell, ITV News, Blackpool.
Yeah, and we wish him the best of luck.
Finally tonight, to the fitness instructor from Manchester who's picked up a Pride of Britain award for his work improving the lives of disabled, ill and elderly people.
Yeah, Davino McLean runs the J7 community gym in Blakely, where people can work on their mental and physical health, no matter what the situation is.
And for 20 years, he's been changing lives and challenging the status quo. And now that's earned him the Pride of Britain's Inspiration Award.
Well, Davino joined us a short time ago, and we started by asking what his big night was like.
The night was, it was a magical night. Do you know what it was? I felt like I was in the presence of giants. I don't mean in stature, just energy and just care. And some of these people that were getting celebrated like me were just amazing humans that have achieved so many wonderful things. It was just it was a pinch me kind of moment. Every single person that went on stage made you just so proud just to be British.
And I guess it's just, there's so much bad news around at the moment, isn't it? To have a night like this where people are celebrated for all the amazing things they've done, the adversity they've overcome, it must have just been really inspiring.
Of course it was. And I always say to people that muscle doesn't define how strong you are. Strength isn't how big your biceps are. Strength is just The ability to just be unbreakable and have an unbreakable spirit, and I was in the presence of some of the strongest humans on this planet.
You were there with your family, your mum, your dad, your other half. Was receiving this award one of your proudest moments in life?
Oh, definitely. My wife, her love and support is the fuel for everything I do. My mum and dad, I'm lucky that I still got them, and they're both a bit naughty. They both need telling off a little bit, but I'm always striving to make... Because they're just naughty, aren't they? But I'm always striving to make mum and dad proud.
Your mum met the Prime Minister and she had a conversation with him. How did that conversation go?
Oh, the conversation went... it went the way I knew it was going to go. She called him something. I'm not going to repeat. I can't repeat it, but yeah, she greeted him unusually.
Yeah. And how will it be to take your award back to your gym? Because obviously you're there day in, day out helping people, you know, who might have a disability or ill, elderly. How will they feel when they see you with your award?
You know what? To anyone who's ever looked at me as like a symbol of hope, this award is a symbol of that. And I can't wait for the guys to see it and be around. It's heavy as well, you know, Kate.
Is it?
Oh, it's heavy. It's heavy. He's got big arms, so he'll be able to lift it. It's heavy.
Can you use it as a dumbbell?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
What would your advice be to someone watching this right now who wants to get fit, wants to get in the gym, but doesn't really know where to start? What would you say to them?
You deserve it. And what I mean by that is I say that to people every single day, that you deserve it. Just give it a go. And if my guys that are disabled or disadvantaged that I've trained for 23 years, if they've taught me anything, is life is short and just give it a go.
Where are you going to be watching the awards?
In my front room with a cup of coffee. Yeah, with me two little boys running up and down. Me and my wife sat down watching it and just soak it. And you know what? It's going to be amazing just to relive it. And I'm telling you, anybody watching the show, the people and the love and just the unbreakable spirit that you guys are going to see, I cannot wait for you. We've all made friends. We've all just become like a really nice little community of Pride of Britain winners. And I'm so humble to know these guys.
Javino, many congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Oh, such a lovely and inspiring guy. He wouldn't share what his mum said to the Prime Minister, though.
He's
Probably
keeping
best.
tight-lipped.
Probably best.
Right, let's take a look at the weather now. Here's Joe.
Mum, wet wipes, toilet or bin?
Bin. Why?
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. A very good evening to you. A blustery and showery day to come tomorrow with a colder feel to our weather in the run-up to the weekend. Showers to end the working week and a fine couple of days to come at the end of the week, with Saturday being the brighter of the two. Now, a deep low pressure system named Storm Benjamin by the French Weather Service will be moving up across England and Wales through tonight and tomorrow, chiefly affecting central and eastern areas. But the wraparound effects of that will bring some heavy and perhaps prolonged downpours with gusty winds for the northwest of England and the Isle of Man by the time we get to tomorrow morning. It starts dry and clear for many of us tonight, but winds will increase a little after midnight, and we begin to see the effect of that low pressure moving up from the Midlands after midnight. Rain moving in, winds increasing in strength and swinging round to a more northerly direction, which will lend a colder feel to our weather tomorrow. 8 or 9 Celsius the overnight low tonight. The sun will be up at 7:53, setting at 5:57 tomorrow evening. Now, on to tomorrow's details. The early morning rush hour probably rather wet, with some heavy downpours merging and gusty winds as well. Bit of brightness around the middle part of the day before that driving northwesterly wind pushes more showers across the region during the afternoon. Some of these rather heavy. It's pretty windy, especially for exposed western coasts tomorrow, and it's going to feel chilly. 10 or 11 Celsius at best, with those showers continuing into tomorrow evening and the first part of Friday. Settling down, a cold night Friday into Saturday with a touch of frost. Saturday will be the brighter day of the weekend, but pretty windy into the afternoon, with more cloud to come on Sunday. Bye-bye.
Cleaned up well.
United Utilities sponsors ITV Granada weather.
Thank you. That is it for Granada Reports this evening.
Yeah, I'll have the late news after news at 10. Hope you can join me until then. From all of us here and the whole team, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.